Hello and welcome to the Driven Female Entrepreneur podcast. I'm your host, Melitta Campbell, business coach, value whisperer, and founder of the Dream Clients Blueprint, your step-by-step guide to communicating your true value with confidence and attracting more of your dream clients. If you missed the Dream Clients Summit, so I know that this week I said that we'd get back to our usual interview format, but it felt right to complete this series this month where I've been talking about the Dream Clients Summit, which took place last week, and how I know that last week I said this week we'd get back to our usual interview format. However, after the Dream Client Summit last week, which I've been telling you about over the last few episodes since episode 155, I felt it just felt right to share my biggest takeaways from the summit, and it felt right to share my 5 biggest lessons for business that came out of the summit, especially since these are the same lessons I've heard echoed in so many of your comments following the summit. If you remember back to that first episode, I explained how I designed the summit around my Dream Clients Blueprint framework, which starts at the beginning and helps you and builds step by step to help you create your perfect business, your perfect income, impact, and lifestyle. It's not a cookie cutter approach, but provides that framework and tools, provides the framework and tools to guide your thinking so you can create or grow your business in the shortest time frame with my personalized support every step of the way through live business coaching, one-to-one turbo calls, and video feedback. It's really like a one-to-one experience, but without the intensity or the price tag of private business coaching, and with the bonus of having an incredible community built in. So when I received the feedback from everyone that followed the summit last week, that they loved the structure, that they really appreciated how every session built on the lessons So when I received feedback from those who followed the summit, explaining how they loved the structure of the summit, how they really appreciated that every lesson or every session built on the lessons of the session. That every session built on the lessons of the session before, and that there was this beautiful synchronicity and consistency throughout the summit that showed them that you can create your own business your way, that you can do a lot less and achieve more by focusing in on what feels right for you in your business and ignoring a lot of the high-pressured tactics that don't serve you, especially around pricing and sales and marketing that we're hearing all the time these days, that people found it a real antidote to those kind of high-pressure messages that are flooding the internet right now. They loved that it had a framework and structure, and that it echoed that having creating business success also requires a framework and structure and some thought, but creating this can be a lot simpler than we think, and that throughout the summit we showed you exactly what that is. And they really appreciated the focus on the mindset and compassion. And I was so pleased to see that these messages landed, because having a whole day dedicated to mindset and a whole day dedicated to self-compassion, self-appreciation, and really understanding that success is underpinned by how you view and treat yourself, that was really important for me to put those in, because those are messages that are missed way too often. So I was worried that people would skip those 2 days thinking, oh, that's the fluffy stuff, I don't need that. But I was so pleased that you didn't, that people did show up for those last 2 days and found it so powerful. Some of the messages that I've had many of the messages I've had from people who attended those days was this really a deep gratitude for having to those speakers for sharing these insights, and also for sharing exactly how to do these things, because it's one thing to say, yeah, you have to be compassionate towards yourself, but it's quite another thing achieving that. But everyone was so generous in giving practical, simple tools that you can use every single day to help you maintain a positive or maintain a mindset that serves you, and to be compassionate, to really show yourself appreciation. And so many people have messaged me to say that they're taking up Susie's challenge this week, and I think that's just such a wonderful thing to do. So I am so delighted and proud. I think I mentioned before that sometimes we don't own up to our own brilliance and the good things that we do. And so we don't often allow ourselves to feel that pride in what we've created. And so I am going to take this space and a moment to say, I do feel proud of everything we've created with it's just myself and my small team of Gens and Rains who helped pull this whole summit together in a time frame that many people said just wasn't possible. And I was like, oh, maybe I should push it back. No, let's do it. Maybe it will be a bit rough and ready, but I felt compelled to make this vision happen. And I am delighted that it has come off. Behind the scenes, there were a few hairy moments, but I don't think that came across at all to the audience, which is wonderful. But hearing just how powerful this experience has been for all those that attended has just really made it feel all worth it to me as well. And I am just bowled over by the results that people are having. And we had our action networking session yesterday to help people filter through the messages that they took away from the summit, to discuss those and share them with other summit colleagues, but also to look at, okay, well, what does that now mean? What are you actually going to do in your business? Because of course that part is so important. It's great to get this new knowledge, inspiration, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't translate that into action. So that was the focus yesterday. And again, hearing just how powerful the entire experience was for people was wonderful. And if you did miss the summit, you can still get the VIP pass, which gives you instant access to all of the sessions. And I recommend, if you can, to follow those in order, because as I say, every session builds on the lessons of the session before. And it's just £137, or I think that's about $170 and you keep access to that for 12 months. So you can watch and rewatch some of the sessions. And I know the people that already have the VIP pass have sent me messages to say they are already rewatching some of the sessions because they just felt it was so powerful. They wanted to go back and listen again. So you will be able to do that for a full 12 months. Plus you get £1,000 worth of bonuses thrown into that. So you get my complete Marketing Made Simple course, which explains in simple terms and in short videos what is marketing exactly. So if you don't have that marketing background and you feel that when it comes to getting your business out in front of people, you're missing something, this course is going to take you through that, so you don't feel that sense anymore. You know exactly what marketing is. You know exactly how to create your marketing plan. You know exactly how to move forward into implementation in a way that feels right, that's right for you, right for your clients, and is profitable. So you get that complete course. You get, of course, my book, A Shy Girl's Guide to Networking, the audiobook version of that. And it comes with an app, so you can listen to that on the go. It comes with a course on how to get your business visible online. Where do you start with that? And it talks about social media and websites in there as well, and how to create your perfect LinkedIn profile. So and there's more. I've forgotten everything, but there's more in there as well. So it's everything that's going to help supplement what you've learned in the summit and take that forward and make it work for your business. So if you would like to get that pass, as I say, it's just £137, which is for everything that you get in that and the summit itself. Considering that's like a complete course, then I think that's a really it's a fantastic pricing for everything that you get within that. So you can still go to the same landing page, www.melittacampbell.com/DCS. And when you click the button there, instead of now registering for the summit, it will take you to the page where you can buy your VIP pass, and you get instant access to that. As soon as you buy that, you'll be sent all the details to get into the program, and you can already start. So in 5 minutes from now, you could be enjoying the summit for yourself. But before you go there, let me take you through the 5 biggest lessons that came out for me. And as I said, it's been really interesting to see that these are the same messages and lessons that have been that participants have been taking away as well. So the first lesson is that you do have permission to create your business. To really start, and what I mean by this is to give yourself the permission and say, yes, it is okay to focus on what you really want and to start building that from today. Not waiting for anyone else to validate that, but really looking at what is it exactly that you want, giving yourself the space and the grace to take time out and possibly away from your usual setting. So maybe going to a coffee shop, or I was talking to the group yesterday and we said, oh, and a great place to go is these 5-star hotels. They often have a beautiful lobby. You can buy a drink, sit there quietly, and they don't bother you. So it's this gorgeous setting, and it's like super cheap. It's cheaper than co-working spaces. But somewhere different. And it could be sitting out in a park, sitting out in nature maybe, or going to a friend's office and working there. Anywhere that's different from where you usually sit, so that you have fresh perspectives. It really does help your thinking. So give yourself that time to go away and think, what is it that you really, really want? And once you have that, it can help to discuss your ideas with someone else, even someone who isn't an expert or perhaps doesn't know anything about your business. Their questions and reflections can be really helpful in filling in any gaps, seeing what you're missing, and sometimes giving you the head start. If you're thinking, well, this is what I really want, but I can't see how this can be possible, having someone else say, well, why don't you do this? And this happens to me all the time. I've overcomplicated something, or there's something that I really want to do and I can't see the start point. And I discuss it with someone else, maybe a friend that's got nothing to do with my business. And they're like, oh, well, that sounds a bit like this. And it's like, oh, yes. And you have your start point. So discussing your ideas with someone else, if you have a coach or a mentor, brilliant. But otherwise, almost anyone will help perform this function. And I had a colleague once, and she discussed all her ideas with her dog. And just saying them out loud with a focus helped her massively to filter through her thoughts and see how things came together and what her start point could be. So give yourself that permission to create your business. Give yourself the space to think about what it is that you really want, and start building that from today. And perhaps building on that. So that's the first thing, that you have permission to create your business, and you can start that process today. The second thing is, do know your ideal clients and create something truly special for both of you. And there's always this, do you niche, do you not niche? And I think in the summit, we made it really clear the benefits of having a niche, and that this doesn't necessarily mean something that's demographic. So women age 40 that live in this area or whatever, that's not always the most helpful way to niche, but we gave you clear guidance on that in the summit. So I'm not going to go into that now. It's quite a big topic. But to think differently. But to think differently about your niche and to see it perhaps as a collaboration between everything that you want and everything that your client wants. Where do those two things overlap? How can you really use your expertise and experience and your background and your passions to help them get more of what they want? So it's really this almost a sense of teamwork, working together to help you both get what you want. Then it really feels like you're creating something magical. And to make sure that everything you're putting out there, your communications, your messaging, it really connects and helps transform the lives of your ideal clients for the better. And once you know who your dream clients are, you can really start to elevate the way you approach your messaging, your marketing, your sales. You can really have some really wonderfully open and honest conversations that help move people from where they are to where they want to be, and have an open discussion about whether you're the right person to guide them in that process. And when you know your ideal clients and what you want and what they want, you can create a beautiful sales path rather than a funnel that squeezes people through. You can give them options. And Sarah on the podcast, on the summit, really illustrated how this is possible beautifully. And I think her way of seeing the sales funnel and turning this into sales path that really resonated with everybody that listened to that one. So if you do have that VIP pass, make sure you go and listen to that one. And also, when you know who you are, what you want, who your ideal clients are, you can start to create what I call TNTs, and it's a term that I picked up from Phil M. Jones. And it's this idea of these tiny noticeable things, the little things that you do that show that the client, that you value them, you understand them, that they are supported, that they're not alone. And it's something that only you can create that way. It's not anything that anyone else could duplicate because it's coming from your heart. And it's hard to create something meaningful if you don't have that clear niche. If you're creating something for everyone or for people, you can create something that's nice, but it's never going to have that impact, that the kind of impact that's going to make you feel really proud and that you're really doing work that's worthwhile. So do understand your ideal clients, do niche around who those dream clients are for you, but also understand that you won't always get this 100% right, and particularly not at first. There will be a bit of trial and error. You may think, oh, I'm going to work with these people, and then you start working with them and you realize, okay, not those people, I want to work with these people. So coming back to this idea of giving yourself space and grace, start somewhere. Start where you believe you can have the most impact, and then see where that takes you. But know that whatever niche you create at first, it's never set in stone. You can change and evolve and grow, and you will change, evolve, and grow for sure. That's inevitable. So the third lesson. So we've had the first lesson: you do have permission to create your business your way. The second one: do know your ideal clients and create something really special that works for you and for them. And those two kind of feed into this third message, which was start with the end in mind. And this came out when I did all the interviews. I recorded them because I couldn't show up 5 hours every day for 5 days and as my best self. Particularly being an introvert, I have a finite amount of energy to put towards this, so I had to spread those interviews out, and recording them in advance also meant that we minimized the risk of any technical issues or last minute sickness, although there was one case that we couldn't avoid, but it just made the whole thing possible. So when I brought the videos all together and listened to them in order, then it was really interesting to see that different messages were coming out. And start with the end in mind was a message that I hadn't quite picked up on until I brought them all together. And it was a really powerful message because it came through almost every session in some way or form, they talk about this. So too often we start where we are with the mindset that one day we'll do things differently, or when this happens, I'll do that or this or the other. But that's just delaying your ability to have an impact, your ability to really create something meaningful in your business. We can have far more impact for ourselves and our clients when we consider what we really, really want and build that into the way we do business from day one. If we want more time freedom, create it now. Don't wait. If you want to speak on global stages, start with the small stages or Facebook Lives right now. When you start with the end in mind, you can achieve your goals faster and create a much bigger impact in the world. So again, give yourself the time and permission to dream bigger. And then instead of using that dream as a place to grow to, use it as a place to start from. That's going to be so much more powerful for you in your business. The fourth message or lesson really resonated and came out from me was one that I actually purposely placed into the summit, but it doesn't mean it didn't still have an impact for me. And that's this idea of having an impact that lasts by putting your needs first. That means things like setting fair prices without forgetting to consider what a fair price is for you in that equation, not just for your clients, but what would recognize and value your expertise and experience, everything that you bring and that people get from working with you. Putting yourself first means taking the time that you need to show up as your best so you can have that impact and that impact over time, which is why I recorded the summit in advance. It was my ability to show up as my best self and so I could create a summit that really had an impact. And it means not saying yes instantly to everybody else's demands on us, but considering their needs in terms of what's our priority. So if their needs are taking us away from our priorities, then it's an easy no. We have to place our priorities first, and then we can have this bigger impact as well from others. Then we have this space, this time to be creative, to be innovative, and bring something special into our clients' lives that wouldn't exist otherwise. If we are just people pleasing, saying yes to everybody, if we're spread thin, there's no way we can have an impact, and certainly not an impact that's going to last over the long term. So having an impact starts with putting yourself first. And again, this builds into the final lesson, which is we must. And I know throughout the summit, I was saying, listen out for these words. If you ever hear yourself saying to yourself or other people telling you, you need to do this, you must do that, it's a red flag. But in this case, I'm cancelling out that, because you must treat yourself with compassion always. It's really the biggest hidden rule of business, I believe. And I loved Tom's message that negative self-talk is bullying. Stop bullying yourself. Start being more kindful. And that self-doubt serves nobody. When you are doubting yourself, it's a form of negative self-talk. It's a form of bullying. It's holding you back, and it's stopping you from serving the people you want to serve. It's holding them back as well. It really is serving no one. It is normal, and you can recognize this negative self-talk, these doubts that come up, but just to acknowledge them and think, okay, that's interesting, to write them down, to decide, well, what could we do differently? What is a better thought to have? Or just completely ignoring it. So often we write these things down on paper, and when they come out into the light, you think, well, that's not true. well, that's a load of nonsense. Why am I even thinking that? But once you get these thoughts out, you can stop that cycle. You can stop these thoughts from holding you back from having that impact that you were meant to have. So being appreciative and kindful of ourselves is the true route to success. And this means investing in yourself. So in taking time for self-care, personal development, working on your mindset, and giving yourself that space to do that. And it means asking for the support that you need. It means building a wonderful community around you. It means getting a coach or mentor to support you so that you can achieve your goals in a way that's appropriate for you, doesn't cause you to burn out, you don't make too many wrong turns and mistakes, but you get that support step by step. So ask for that support, build that community, and really, if you can get a coach or mentor, you will not regret that. I know I always feel that I need a sort of disclaimer when I say that, because of course I am a business coach myself, but everybody that I've interviewed on the podcast, that's more than 150 women I've had interviews with, and again, everybody on the summit, they all agree you need a coach or mentor. You need someone in your corner supporting you every step of the way. So do look for someone that's right for you, that can support you. Of course, I'm here with the Dream Clients Blueprint program. Is a wonderful way of getting that support. But of course, there is lots of other options out there depending on your personality, your vision, your values, what you want to achieve next. So you can start to find the right coach or mentor for you. So those were my big lessons. Again, you do have permission to create your business your way. Do get to know your dream clients and create something that's truly special for both of you. Start with the end in mind, that having an impact that lasts means putting your needs first, and that you must treat yourself with compassion always. So those were my 5 biggest messages that came out of the summit for me that have really had an impact that I keep coming back and reflecting on. But I would love to know, what were your biggest takeaways? What have you learned? And if you weren't able to follow the summit, reflect back on something that you have attended. What is we sometimes call it an Easter egg, that hidden message that was planted just for you, that's just resonating with you right now. Let me know what's working for you, where you at. Come and join the new community on school.com. It's called the Dream Clients Club. School is with a K. You can find us over there, and I'll put the link in the show notes as well, so you can come and join us. So come over to that community. Let us know what those biggest lessons, or let me know. So come and join the community. Let me know what came out of the summit for you, or your most recent training. What's really resonating for you right now and helping you move forward with that compassion, with that focus, with that dedication of having that impact for you and for your clients equally. So I would love to hear that. Meantime, again, if you missed the summit, you can get the VIP pass, which gives you access to all of the summit sessions, plus the all of the summit sessions, plus the £1,000 worth of bonuses. And just go to get that, you can go to melittacampbell.com/DCS. It stands for Dream Client Summit, DCS, and you'll find the link there. So you can get yourself access to that. And if you enjoyed the show, I would love it if you could give me if you could give the show a review on iTunes. It really helps support the show and helps more women to find the incredible wealth of learning and wisdom that's held within the various interviews, the last 150 odd episodes. So do come, and I'd love it if you could spend a minute to let me know and share this podcast with your friends. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it as a resource to your network and business besties as well. And next week I really will be back with a wonderful interview for you. So I look forward to seeing you then. Meantime, have a fantastic week.